Triptykon. We've mentioned these two amazing performances that you're gonna be having here. Triptykon. What are we doing with Triptykon? And my question to you with the Triptykon project is one of the things that I've always admired of this project is the fact that you've been able to keep it not contaminated. There are many artists that, due to their past, they are forced or they feel artistically that they have to infiltrate their new projects with what got them to be at a certain stature in this musical realm. One of the things that I've always appreciated about all artists that have been able to maintain that honesty, that integrity, is the non contamination. I think you've achieved this, my personal opinion, as a fan and also in the business with Triptykon. Where do you tend to go with Triptykon after these amazing full circle healing adventures that you're doing with your life and with these amazing bands that you've been affiliated with in the past?
Well, you know, for much of my life as a musician, I felt I had to constantly reinvent myself and experiment. But at the stage I am now, I'm 55. I've done this part of you know, I did all of this. In a way, I think every musician should do this, because at the end of the day, music is art, and art is not about photocopying and playing it safe. Art is also about anarchy and taking a risk and trying to explore new avenues. But I've done all of this, and I feel it's now up to others to do it. I'm at the point in my life where I feel very comfortable with the music that we are playing right now. I feel extremely at home in the music that Celtic Frost played at the end and Triptykon is playing now. So our next album is just more of the same, and right now I feel that's the right thing to do. And I try not to think too much when I write music. You know, like you say, I don't want to be contaminated. I don't want to think, you know, this made us great and all of these things, because it poisons you. I trust my own emotions to deliver enough material for an album without thinking too much about my career and the expectations of an industry or something like that. I'm very fortunate enough that I have my name, so I can do whatever I want right now. And if it negatively affects my career, so it does. I just play what is inside of me. I write what is inside of me. And I know we're very overdue with the new album, and we would actually have a finished album now, but then Ropeburn Festival in Europe contacted us and asked me if I would be interested in finishing Celtic Frost Requiem, which was a plan I had for many, many years. And Ropeburn offered me an orchestra and everything, so I dedicated most of this year to writing the missing part of the Requiem, and everything else in Triptykon had to be put into the background. Triptykon has been working on the Requiem all year. It's a hugely complex undertaking, so that's what we did this year.
With a full orchestra.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And so the new album will be finished next year. Unfortunately, yet another year without an album, and I regret that myself too. We're totally overdue. And as for the orchestra thing, that's of course also a major Triptykon project, and I'm very aware that every band and their grandmother has done a concert with an orchestra, and I don't like that at all, because Celtic Frost, when we started working with classical musicians in the mid-1980s, no metal band would touch something like this.
That's correct.
And we wrote the music specifically for this purpose. We wrote music for metal band and orchestra. And in the meantime, so many bands have done this, and they just pay some arranger to write some violins to an existing song, but that's not how it's done. And they basically, I like the word you used, they contaminated this concept. If a band of millionaires pays a famous conductor to do some classical arrangements to classical thrash metal songs, I'm not going to mention any names here, but there's been so many concerts like this, but that's not how it's done. If you do it properly, you write the music for the crossover, for the metal band with classical orchestra. And that's what we've always done in Celtic Frost, and that's the missing part of the Requiem was also written like this, organically. It's not an afterthought to be cool and also go on stage with an orchestra. But unfortunately, it's a world where everybody does everything, so by now, unfortunately, it's not as special as it used to be. But we're doing this because we were always going to do this one day, to do the Requiem, but it's only going to be one performance, then the whole thing is closed.
Another closed chapter.
Yeah.
One of the things that I find very impressive, and I keep using these words because, and let me apologize, deep down inside, the adolescent is still alive and well.
Same here.
But the full orchestration, a full orchestra with your compositions, with the music that you're composing, it just now as an adult, the full grasp, the full power, the full breaking down of barriers. Even though it's been done and it's been marketed before, there's a big difference because this is not a sales gimmick. This is not in any way, shape, or form a propaganda. This is another evolution of the artistic growth that you have established throughout your whole career. Thomas Fischer, Gabriel, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me. And
it's a huge honor, absolutely.
And I want to wish you not only well in life, but I also want to wish you continued health and happiness, because regardless of what you have been labeled throughout the decades, and I'm referring to from the early dark, macabre, anarchistic, rebellious stage to now, you've helped so many with your music. You've helped evolve, have people think beyond the grass. And in this day and age where everyone is fixated on a phone, the ability to think for oneself is needed now more than ever. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Triptykon is going to be, as you mentioned, we'll be releasing music soon. Make sure you keep tabs on that. Celtic Frost here in Los Angeles, the Decibel Festival, and then in Europe. Will any of these fantastic performances possibly might return to the United States?
If people will make us an offer that's appropriate for this project, of course, yeah.
Fantastic. 2019. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're out.